Ready, partner?
So Ahnika, I had a mic failure. I'm going to use the stick mic for today, which is a little odd considering you don't have a stick mic yourself. First of all, 5th year, you guys are rolling. You're 11-1 so far this season. How does this year compare to years past you played on this team? What is the biggest difference you see? Because even though you're 11-1, I still feel like there's a significant difference on this team.
I don't know. I feel like we know what we have to do, and like we've made it to the top, and we just know how hard we have to work. And there's so many new players this year that we have to teach them how to win, basically, because they weren't around for when we didn't win.
And
so.
That's the difference I was thinking of, is that you lost a couple of key players in the middle, and now, it's basically up to the three of you, yourself, Shelby, and Ray, to kind of lead the way here. And how is it being the teacher this year? How are you finding that?
I mean, it's pretty different, but I think it's going well, teaching the younger players what they need to do, because they have a lot to learn.
No kidding.
All they know is winning right now. So.
Do you remember your first year?
Yeah.
Yeah?
Yeah.
What was that like? Like, what are those players going through right now, some of those first years?
They're very tired right now. And I think we're just ready for our Christmas break right now, because it's been go, go, go for so long. So it's time for a break.
So that win over Augustana on the weekend, both wins, but especially the win on Saturday, must have been relief in a way, because we're off for a little while now. Is that the feeling you have? Like, we're off for a bit?
Yeah, a little bit. Like, I think we were just trying to almost get through the game, because in that third set we had a little bit of a
minor meltdown.
Yeah, a little meltdown, and so once we got to the fourth set, we just knew we had to get it done, and that's what we did. So
let's talk stats for a minute. I'm a big stats fan, especially when it involves Rustlers athletes. So Jose from the men's team recently became the all-time assist leader at Lakeland College.
Yes,
that's pretty exciting.
Cool, yeah.
You started this season with 924 career kills in the ACAC. That was 10th. So that started you at 10th. This season, up to this point, you have 137, which is a good start. I believe that has you 5th in the ACAC this year. But all time, add to that 924, that is 1,061. You are tied for 3rd. All time.
Yeah, that's pretty cool.
Do you think about that at all while you're playing, or during the season? Are you thinking about where you sit in the all-time kills category?
It was in the back of my mind, but like I try not to think about it during games.
Sure.
Because like it was an unnecessary thoughts or stress in my mind. I don't know.
Yeah.
And I just needed to focus on playing the game that I know how to play, and focus on winning with my team.
Yeah, of course. That's an incredible stat. And given there's a couple of big names just ahead of you. I mean, Samantha Zacharias, who you know quite well, is first all time with 1,385. I think it's quite an accomplishment, and even more so, your teammate Shelby is right behind you. Which is impressive. Just very quietly gone about her business. She started the season 25th, and there's nobody above her or you that's still playing in the ACAC. So any kills that you guys have from this point on, nobody's, you know what I mean? There's not someone you're still trying to catch that's still moving up. So Shelby has 131. She's right behind you this season. So she moved from 25th up to tied for 15th all time. And by the end of the season, I would suspect that she is 10th and you will be 3rd. That's unbelievable. And I bring up this stat about her as well because you've played with her for 5 years, and Ray, who truthfully is instrumental to you getting all those kills. What's it been like playing with those two girls?
It's the best. Like, I'm super thankful for having them, because I don't know where I would be if I didn't have them. Like all three of us, we grew together, and we figured out how to win and how to get along with each other. And sometimes we don't get along, and that's just that's just the way it is
That's
when you spend
sports,
that
right?
when you spend that much time with
Yeah.
with people. So, but no, I'm super thankful for them, and yeah.
Now it's different this year. You're missing a couple of girls in Alyssa and Chelsea that are bigger bodies, tall girls.
Yeah.
But you also mentioned that you're kind of teaching some of these younger girls. Is that the biggest difference you see this year? Is having these younger girls around that haven't played before at this level?
Yeah, I think the biggest thing this year is that we have to teach them what it takes to win.
Right.
Because especially the girls last year and the year before, all they know is winning. so
that's a good situation to have.
yeah, and like mine, Shelby and Ray's first year, we had quite a few losses, and I think that was instrumental in to getting us to where we are today. So
11-1. Are you happy with where this team is at right now?
Yeah, I am. I think it's I think we're gonna get to where we need to be, and we're gonna progress and figure out our downfalls now and how we're gonna change them and be the best at the end.
It's interesting because you've developed this winning culture. You've won for the last few years, CCAA gold, CCAA bronze. But what is the biggest challenge you think you face this year? Because to me it seems like you're still the team to beat in the ACAC, and even in the CCAA. There's only VIU and Douglas that finished ahead of you last year. What is the biggest challenge you think you're facing?
I think, since there is a little bit of a lack of competition within our conference, we just have to find ways to drive ourselves and keep the level of competition up in practice and not get complacent, and we have to focus on just making sure that we focus on the end goal. Because
is it tough to focus though, knowing what you know about your success over the last 2 years?
It can be a long season sometimes.
Sure, yeah.
So it's not so hard to focus on the end goal. It's just there's so much in between it that it gets tiring sometimes.
No
and
kidding.
it's not that that's a bad thing. It's just we need to find the drive to keep going sometimes.
Talking about tiring, what was the feeling like after the Saturday Augustana match? Was it just kind of relief? We're off for almost a month.
Yeah, for sure. We had that little blip in the third set, and I think we just wanted it to be done. And when we kind of let our guard down a little bit, they snuck right up in there and took that set from us. But then in the fourth set, we knew what we had to do. We wanted to get it done, and then we were good.
It's been interesting to watch those sets, right? So when I see those, that fourth set is a good example because you have what I would classify as a stinker in that third, and then you see that you've buckled down and you can dominate teams. Absolutely, you dominated Augustana in that fourth again. Of course, little things that crept up, errors and things like that, but for the most part, really, really dominant. Do you see that as well? Do you see you lose, and what happens in those between those sets between you when you lose a set like that and then come out and dominate the way you do? What goes on in there?
We're just we don't know what happened. We just gotta figure out how they beat us, and usually it's our errors. Yeah. So when we realize that, then we just go on and play our own game.
Is it one of those things that needs to be said, or can you just kind of everyone cognitively is aware of what just happened there, or do you need to talk it out?
I think everyone's aware, but it's good. It's good when we can just call each other out and be like, we need to play better.
Yeah. So you're happy with where you're at right now. Mm-hmm. Where do you see yourself when it comes to the ACAC tournament? You see yourself winning, I'm sure. Do you feel any added pressure this year thinking about that tournament?
Not really any added pressure. if we get matched up against the home team, that's a little nerve-wracking. But
No kidding. No kidding.
no, I think we're gonna do pretty well.
One more thing about Kings. I want to talk to you about Kings. It's the only team that you've beaten them and they've beaten you. What was it about that second match on the Saturday that you struggled with?
I honestly think we were a little tired because the Friday match went to 5 and we didn't get home till pretty late, which sounds like an excuse, but
little different though, right? Because they travel the next day. You don't. You have to come back that night.
Yeah.
So that makes sense.
Yeah.
Given your travel schedule.
And they served really well, and we couldn't pass. And when we can't pass, we become pretty predictable. And so they trapped us on the outside and had a big block. So
I really want to quickly also would like to touch on the men's volleyball team. A big turnaround there. Is it exciting for you to watch the guys do as well as they are this year? That must be exciting for the women.
Yeah, no, of course it's super exciting to see them finally do well, because it sucks when it's
been a long time coming too, right? For those guys.
Yeah, for sure, been a long time coming, and we love cheering them on and hyping them up, and it's good when they can back it up.
It seems like there's a good connection there between the two volleyball teams.
Yeah.
It seems like you guys have a really good friendship base there. That's cool.
Yeah,
That's good.
it's good.
Continued success. So 1,061. So we'll see 1,062 in January. Move you into third all time. That is an accomplishment. Congratulations on that.
Thanks very much.
That's really impressive. I'm sure that when you started this adventure at Lakeland, that was not what you expected to be.
Definitely not.
Yeah, it's cool to know that in the end you will have cemented yourself in the history books with the ACAC.
Yeah, it's very cool.
Really cool stuff. Continued success. Looking forward to being around you guys for the rest of the year and seeing where this fabulous journey ends up. Thanks for being with me.
Thank you.